Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome. We are live coming to you from Boyd, Texas, where we are in the middle of a downpour. I am hoping to get through this. We're not having wind yet. It's supposed to come, but I'm hoping we'll get through this and not have to jump off like we did the last time. So I want to say hi to, who do we have watching? Kathy, Renee, Jackie, Misty, Melody, Frog Sticker, Patricia or Patty, Nancy, Lisa. This is Ensika week. It's downpouring at your house too. Yeah, I didn't want to cancel another live, so we just had a major downpour. It has stopped for the moment, so we're going to see what happens here. But I'm going to jump right in. I don't want to waste a lot of time, so in case we get dumped off. This is Ensika week, and I have added quite a few things to the website for Honor of Ensika, though we couldn't go. We were just too little this year to try to get inventory together for that. Last month was just awful. Mr. Wilson had COVID. I was in a glass class for 10 days. We were trying to get stuff ready for Alabama Clay Conference. So on and on and on. But we're here now. So I want to show you, hey Sharon, I want to show you, I gave my slab group a sneak peek yesterday at things that were coming, and they have classes coming. So I'm going to show you a couple quick things that have come. They're actually on the website. I want to show you, and then we're going to get to tonight's project. So I got to hurry. This adorable little dish. I'm going to do, I don't usually do this in this group, but I'm going to do a this or that in this group. This or that. This will be number 1, this will be number 2. So put in your comments which you like the best of the texture. This is like the innie and this is the outie, but this is number 1, number 2. It's the same texture, just cut differently. Oh, I can't keep holding that up there. Can you guys see this good like this? Number 1, that is the innie. Anybody else? Oh, another number 1. 2 number 1s so far. As you're looking at these, I'm going to show you these. Another number 1. Okay, so these, if you look at these, look at that light little swoop. This one does have a foot. This one I didn't put a foot. Number 1 jumps out first. Woohoo! Okay, so how I made those are dinner rounds. This is our little 5-inch baby dinner round, and I used the pinwheel template. But you guys know that this can be used on the banding wheel system or on the wheel. And if you have one of our wheel systems, the insert has a peg hole, and you can put a peg in it and make this right on your wheel or your banding wheel system. But the curve and the swoop of this, it can be used with or without a template. But I just wanted to show you that's what I made this with. And I will tell you, the texture is new. At this point, this was not a rolling pin. This was not done with a rolling pin, not done with a texture mat, not done with stamps. It's a whole new thing we're trying out. And so I ran this particular texture both ways, innie and outie, to see what worked best. And what I'm seeing so far is mostly number 1. But again, it's the exact same texture, just ran opposite. So keep those numbers coming. This is on the website, by the way. This is the dinnerware rounds. I used the little 5-inch baby And what a perfect sized little dish. This would also be perfect for a little saucer for a mug. But I wanted to show you that, and I wanted to get your opinion. So keep those opinions coming. I'm going to set this back here. Keep those opinions coming. Again, quickly, do you have the rounds or the dinner rounds? If you have the dinner rounds, that's the 5-inch. You have that. I showed my slab group yesterday this piece of glass that I sandblasted. Let me put this behind here. That I sandblasted. Oh, you see my reflection. I don't know if you can see that good. But this shape piece of glass, I have sandblasted a lot. And I'm going to slump this so it will become a curved dish. And then in the hole, I'm going to put stainless steel and mount my glass flower that I made. But when I pulled this out, I was like, oh, that is the perfect shape for our next baby hybrid. Our next baby hybrid. It is my totally triangular baby hybrid. And, oh, let me grab something. Baby hybrid, baby hybrid. So in my live with my slab group yesterday, I made a baby hybrid, and this baby hybrid was made with this template. I don't remember what I just called this template. Put this on there so maybe you can see the shape of that, the design on the side. I don't remember what I called it, but it's on the website. This would be under rim templates. Rim templates always have a fancy edge. Lip templates are always the shape of the form. It just puts a little lip around it or a little edge. Rim templates, on the other hand, always put a fancy rim like that. So those are up there. Lip template, rim template. They'll be the first one in each category because I just added them. Also, my slab to feathers, I showed them this yesterday. This is not my design. This, and I can't remember the person, and I couldn't find my paper that had it on there. But there's a lot of people out there that are making this, and I have had multiple people in my group, my slab group, asking me if I could do a tutorial on this. So that is a class that's coming for them. But I did also, because it took us quite a while to figure this out, I did also create the template for this so that all you would have to do, set it and put your knife in like that and cut your slices. And then there's center holes so that you can mark your centers. So you can mark your centers for where you want your center pieces to go. So this is a class coming soon to my slab group, but the template is on the website. Again, I didn't design that, but I put it up there by popular request. We figured it out. You could go, it was in Clay Buddies. I think it was the Clay Buddies group that several people put that out there and showed how to do that template on the foam. I can't use foam. I cut it all up. So you can go there and find it and create your own. Or you can purchase the 1/4 inch thick, the one that you just stick your knife in and go. I will tell you that template is 14 inches in diameter. But this has not even been bisque fired. You can still see it's still wet. I'll probably end up breaking it. But it's only 12 inches point to point at this point. And then, of course, when it's fired and glazed, it'll probably be more like 11 and a half or 11 and a quarter. So if you look and you see that it's a 14-inch template, don't panic if you have a smaller kiln. When you pull the sides in, this 14-inch template only becomes this 12-inch dish. So there's that. There is also this template, Fantasy Leaf. And you look at that and say, what is that for? Hey, it's for the baby round. Oh, look, it doesn't fit right. You're going to see what I do with it. You could use this lip template with the baby round hybrid or the baby octagon hybrid, maybe even the hexagon, but I'd probably stick to the round or the octagon. And with that, that's a sneak into what we're going to do tonight. Somehow, let's see, my hybrids arrived. Let me see. Oh, golly, that's weird. Oh man, hold on. That was just the weirdest thing. Okay. I'll tell you after the live. It was just the weirdest thing that popped up on my phone. Okay, so sorry about that. Something just totally caught me off guard that popped up on my phone, and I don't know why, but it wouldn't let me see your comments. So, yep, sizing up to plate size 9-inch, I think. Yes. Okay, that is my thing from today. All right. So, hey, Deb, aren't you at NCECA? What are you doing on the live? I'm honored, but aren't you at NCECA? Who said their hybrids arrived? Lisa. Yay. Lisa. What country are you in? Yes, what country is she in? Oh, Deb, that's awesome. Oh, so Lisa, we had to shut down international because of some things that were showing on shipping that was saying was astronomical on your end, not for us to ship it, but for your custom end. And so we shut that down real quick until we can get more information on if you guys are really going to be charged what those custom charges said they were going to be that we've never been able to see before. So if you want to place an order, email or message me personally. We'll add it up and you can see what those would be prior to going through with the ordering. Because I will do that for my special peoples. So let's take a look at what we're going to make tonight. Now, the first video is making something you've seen me make before. So I may just kind of whiz through it. It is, you're welcome. It is using my baby round hybrid with my Octamotion template. Now, when you saw me make this before, I used the baby Octamotion template. But tonight, I needed it to flower out more. So I used, a lot of you have the Octamotion 4-piece set, which includes that 7.5-inch rim. So I used the big 7.5-inch rim. Gosh, this one. I used the big template tonight. So it's going to have, my flower's going to have a great big template or rim, where the ones I'd been doing had a little bitty rim. But you're going to see why when we get this started. Now, when I start this first video, you guys may see, LOL, I could only afford to go one day, but I still would watch you as much as... Oh, see, I didn't know you could just go one day. I have not gone to NCECA. Shame on me. But I didn't know you could just go one day. But the pictures I saw looked like you were having a wonderful time. Okay, so when I show this video, I may kind of fast forward through parts of it because you've watched me create this exact same dish just with a smaller rim. It's the next pieces that I really want you to see. So we'll see. Here we go in the first video. It's quite long. Okay, we're gonna have a little baby fun. Look how nasty my clay is. My wider. This is the 7.5 inch Octamotion template. A lot of you probably have it, and easy. I lift up and like kind of lay these folds in like so. And then I'm going to kind of lift up and press these folds in. Now again, this is a deep form. Now normally I would use a wider slab, but this is what I had. So I'm going to show you. I can make this work. Just lifting up these little folds and kind of pressing them in. And then I'm going to press in and up, because I don't want to tear up my bottom. This fold is going to be a little pain. So I'm just going to give it a little time. Lift in and up. And press these folds in. And see how that works. And I'm just kind of going around with it now because I've got those folds out of there. See that? Now, I did put a lot of fingerprints in, but we'll fix that. I'm going to grab my little red rib, and I'm going to do my swoop that I love to do. I've got a towel on my lap. I'm going to come and swoop down, and I like my rib to be a little bit wet. I just dip it in my water because it makes my swoop better. Y'all know I'm such a swooper. And I'm just bringing this down. And I don't have to smush it into the form if I don't want to, because I have my template out there. Ah, dropped it. Okay, now I'm just gonna, this is a noisy one. This is an old Lazy Susan type thing I had. Mr. Wilson put a Lazy Susan on the bottom of one of my banding wheel system boards just to give me an extra spinner. Now I'm going to take my bigger red rib. Look at that already. I'm going to take my bigger red rib. I need to go back to my other one. This is too loud for on the air, I'm sure. Sorry. There. Now I want this to stand up above what I'm going to do with the rest of it. So I am going to go ahead and throw a little foot on this with my super duper battery powered extruder. I had this clay in here a while, but I keep plastic on it, and so it's still nice and soft. And I don't need a very big piece. So I'm going to set this down on my table, resting the battery part on my table because this thing's heavy. I'm just going to squeeze the button. And I had just filled it last time I put this in. So I'm going to wait for the back to catch up. And that's more than plenty right there. So, look how easy that was. Now I'm going to take this lid off, get rid of that little piece on the top, and I'm going to double up or even quadruple up just so I don't have a lot hanging over. I'm going to stick my plastic right back on there because I don't know the next time I'm going to use this, but that keeps that clay nice and good for me. All right. Now I'm just going to take a sponge, and you see all of that. That's only because that's been in there a while. But a sponge, lightly rubbing across this, will take this all, whoops, right off and smooth it down. No worries here. And if there's one side that looks worse than the other, that'll be the side I put on the bottom. And I think I'm going to actually pop it down on that middle one and flatten that out. There we go. Flatten that right out. Score it all up. This is just another little fun project you can do with these little babies. Bring this back over here. I'll bring my banding wheel over here for the next little segment, so it's not so loud. Spin that around. All right, and I'm just using a little bit of kind of slippy water because it's full of clay, but it's really more water. And that's okay because this is pretty wet clay. Now that I've manipulated it some after being set in plastic for quite some time, it's still nice and soft. And so now I'm going to take this. And this is going to be big for this bowl, but you're going to see why I wanted something tall here in a second. So I'm going to spin this under and spin this under just so that I can cut it. I'm going to grab my X-Acto knife. And I'm going to cut this just like that. I'm going to score this and score this, and this will set up pretty high. And that's what I want for this project. I want this dish to set up pretty high. Now I'm going to press this in and together and run my fingers across this to where we'll make this connection disappear. That's going to be a fun foot. Oh, but look, you see it right there. So I'm going to take my rib. I usually use my little red one, but it's in the water. So I'm just going to run that in there. And that takes that right out where you don't even see it. And I'm going to do that same thing on the side here. I will just lightly put a template on the top just to make sure it's seated. Now look, I cracked that open. So that tells me I really need to work on that seam. So I'm going to take my sponge and go around here and concentrate right here on this seam. And if I mess up this line, that's okay because I just showed you how to fix that. This is going to give this a nice, sweet, uplifted vase type look, though we're not making a vase. All right. I'm going to take my craft brush and go inside here. Get the rest of this slip out, but this lets me see, whoops, this lets me see that I'm getting a good connection in there. I see no holes. Make I'm looking up at my camera and I can see that this is nice and round. Now, I'm going to dig for my little red rib, because I do want to fix this. I just kind of lean it across to make that roll back out there. And look at that. You can't really see where that was connected now. Okay, and that's our foot. Oh, let me go around under here. I don't think I did that. Again, sorry for the loud Lazy Susan type. I didn't grab my banding nail. I will for the next one. And now I'm going to come in with my needle tool and just come around and spin this around. Now this is going to have a nice big lip. You'll see why in a minute. All right, take that clay off. Now, I do like to go around and clean up with my needle tool. You can clean it up with your sponge, but if you could see the side of this, you could see very easily just these little pieces. But it keeps your design crisp, where this, when you sponge too much, it takes the shape out of your design. So if you take a little extra time and go around and get these extra little pieces, when you do sponge, there's not much sponging to do, and it keeps your design crisp. That's why I love these 1/4 inch templates, because you can do all of this and not worry about hurting them at all. Much sponging on the outside. Just take this template off. You see there's not much, and this is where I can lift this up to get that pretty flower. Come up here. Get this pretty flower. I'll knock these little pieces off. These are the little leftovers, even after I did go around the rim, but see how easy they come right off? So I'll get those later, but I do want to lift this for this particular project a little bit. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do. And you just saw me make this. I'm going to show you. I could probably pop that out that quickly. It's best to let it set just a little bit, but I didn't press hard around the sides. And look at this beautiful floral bowl that you'll see what I'm going to do with, but look at that. Now I'm going to set this right back in here, because now that I lifted this up, I'm going to grab this little piece of wood, set on the top, see that my template does not touch, and then I'm going to flip that back over, about dropped it, flip that back over onto the top. Now press this down, since I kind of jacked it when I dropped it. All right, now I'm going to set this aside. I curled these a little, so they'll be fun. Make sure you don't cause a crack. All right, now I'm going to set this aside and we're going to go on to the next part of this project. Okay, let's see. You know, let's see, did I miss anything? No. Beth, you cracked me up. Dioxin, the swoop swoop, and I was like sitting here going, what did I miss? I don't know what dioxin is. And then you added doing, and I'm like, oh, I got that. So, and Jackie, don't ever worry about being late. There's no late going on here. There's always a replay, though I love seeing you live. Replay's always here. All right, so we made a dish, a bowl, which we've made before, but it looks way different with the baby template versus the big flower template. Now, we're going to do the second half of this project, and you're going to see why I used a bigger template. By the way, all that stuff I showed you that I got added on the website today, I was in a rush to get that all added because right now we're doing the NCECA sale. And if you use the code SHD, Sharon Hoppe Designs, SHD NCECA 15, you'll get a 15% discount on everything except the deep stuff because they're too material and time intensive. Everything else, a 15% discount. Founders, use your own code. Don't use that code. But everybody else, jump in on that 15% off while we just added all that fun stuff. All right, let's go to the next video. Okay, as with the flower, I have a slab here. I'm not texturing it, so it's a little on the thinner side, a little below a quarter, maybe a 1/4 inch. It's pretty soft, and it's bigger than what I used on the flower because I wanted to show you. I was using little pieces that I had left over, but if you roll a bigger slab, you'll find it easier to go over these hybrids, and I'm going to show you that in this video. Whoops. I'm going to do the leaf, the other half of our project, and let me pick this clay up, whoops, and hold it without trying to bend it too much. So I can get this back over here where you can see like that. And I'm going to take this and lay this across this leaf and show you that being bigger, I don't have as many folds, and look at how much easier it is. Look how quickly that went on there. There's my leaf up there. So larger slab makes this a whole lot easier, and we'll go from here. Okay, so let's start off with slight damp sponge across the top. My little red rib, my best friend. And I'm going to go around this top and compress this. And then I'm going to find there's the tip of my leaf. I want to come and swoop this, but I don't want to press it all the way. I don't know if you can see this. Maybe you'll see it when I do this. Okay, I'm going to swoop this into the back. See how it kind of comes straight down? But where my leaf is, I'm just kind of swooping off to the sides, and I'm not pressing it in to the form. put a little piece on here. It had a little dip in it. There we go. Take that little dip out of it. And I can also finish fixing that. But this swoops down and out. These swoop into the form. And you'll see why here in a minute. Again, not pressing in on the front, but down in the back. Just like that. And then you saw me put a foot on the flower. So I'm not going to do that on the air for this one. Well, yeah. I'm not going to do that. Well, yeah, maybe I will. I'll just throw a foot on there real quick. This one's just going to be a corncob foot. Just like that. And I'm going to take a bunch of this off just to get that out of my way. Score. Score. I didn't do this one out of my extruder because I want this to set a little lower than my bowl. You'll see why. And then I'm going to wet my fingers and just kind of let my thumb hit the bottom here and compress that, and my finger come around and lightly squeeze so that I get a nice pretty rounded shape to my foot. Just like this. Make it nice and round. Like that. And I'm going to grab my sponge and just spin my banding wheel. All right. And again, if I set this up straight, you'll see that's straight. All right. There's that. All right. Now I'm just going to grab my needle tool and reveal this. Come in. Drag this around. I like to just bring it off. And then I can start right here on this side. Just like that. I'll go back and see if there's any little crumbs. Not really anything on that side. Not really anything on that side. And I will stamp this. Where did my stamp go? Oh, I used it over there. Oh, there it is. I used it over there to hold stuff in place. There you go. And that is done for the moment. See how this comes down and this more comes out? You'll see why in the next video. Okay. The storm's coming. It's right outside my window. It's getting blacker and blacker. We are under a tornado watch, but I don't worry till it goes to a warning. By the way, right across the pasture there, right before my daughter's fence, I do have an underground tornado shelter. It's all metal. So if we had to, we could jump in there. Although Mr. Wilson hasn't cleaned it out this season, so we'd probably be jumping in with spiders and ants and all that kind of stuff. As long as there's no snakes, I'm good. All right, let's see what that leaf is going to look like and then what we're going to do with them. Wonder what this template's for. I do want to make sure it's flat, and now I'm just going to slide my needle tool under here so I can pick this up real quickly, and I'm going to flip it. Now this is too soon. You wouldn't want to flip it this soon because I'm going to show you why. See, my tip is flopping, but for what I'm going to show you, that's okay. Don't go leather hard. I'm going to hold this up and I'm going to come around. That's where I clip that. I do want to make sure and get these little crumbs off. See, if you cut it nicely, there's hardly any crumbs whatsoever on this. And what I want to do is wet my finger and kind of make these rippled. I want to show you. That's how easy this pops out. I'm going to leave it in here while I'm doing this. I'm going to do this side. I'm holding it up, wetting my finger, and running it under. One, I'm compressing these edges, and two, I'm giving it lots of fun interest. I'm running from underneath and coming in here. Look at the lacy look I'm giving this. Wet your finger if you're not getting it. That'll also compress it from cracks. And I like to squeeze my tip and kind of curl it down. I'm curling it over my finger and kind of squeezing it more into a point. And now I'm going to go underneath with my finger. And again, this is too soon, but I wanted to show it to you. I like to get that. Put your finger under there, rub your thumb over the top of it as you're pulling your finger up, and you get that little curly effect. There. How fun is that? Now, what you can do, because I took it off way early, I could put a sponge under this and curl it over the top. Maybe I'm going to have to use this sponge. Put that under there. Oh, maybe this. Maybe my little... There you go. And roll that over the top. But you can manipulate this any way you want to and create a really fun leaf. You can carve this once it's leather hard. You can get more swoop in there once it's a little more set. And I'm going to swoop this up here. You'll see why. I'm going to take this out because I'm not going to need it now. I'm going to hold this like this and swoop this. And you'll see why in a bit. I stuck my finger. Wouldn't it be nice if I didn't stick my finger in one ever? Okay, but it's never going to happen, so I'm not going to worry about it. There. Now, look at that. Fix where my finger went. What is this going to be? Okay, I'm going to leave it alone because it's too wet and I don't want to mess it up and crack it. But that's the beginnings of what we're going to do here. Maybe I want to stick this under here as well and really flip that. There we go. How about that? A little tall. There, I like that. All right, we'll be back. Any idea yet what this is going to be besides a pie crust shell effect going on there, Misty? Let's just, it's 10 till. Christmas tree bowl or set upright as a Christmas tree. Not a Christmas tree. Good idea though. Let's flip this and show you what I came up with on this one. How many of you barbecue during the summer and have your flowers around and all of that kind of stuff? Well, this project might be for you. A big part of you already have that little round baby hybrid or the octagon baby hybrid. If I would have thought fast enough, I probably would have used the octagon. But so many of you already have that. So many of you already have the Octamotion template. You could create this project just with a leaf template. You don't even need the template. You can just create a leaf all on your own, however you want to do it. But here we go. Okay, we're back. I want to flip the flower. So I'm just going to put a template on top. Flip this over. Take this off. Take the piece of wood out. And look at that fun flower. So, and it pops right out because I didn't suck it in. So what I'm going to do is clean this up and I want to show you something. I love this mud tool sponge for the cleanup. I do hold my fingers underneath because it's still probably more wet than it should be for this, than what I should be doing this. My dogs all ran across the yard. And this is how I clean them all up. Just kind of brush it out. My finger is holding this up because again, I'm doing it a little too soon, but that's okay. Now this is the Octamotion template. It is the 7.5 inch, not the actual baby one. The baby one just gives it a little tiny edge. I wanted a bigger edge on this one for this. A lot of you already have the Octamotion 4-piece set, so that is in there. I'm going to just slightly swoop these. Because I'm a swooper. And look at that. Where's my little red rib? Oh, there it is. I'm going to take my little red rib and I'm going to come lightly across these little spots that I've poked into. Very lightly, because it'll be more fixable when it's a little leather hard. There, took those out. Okay, there's my flower. Now, I did not texture this one. It would be gorgeous textured, but this will also be gorgeous glazed. Now, here's what I want to show you. Move this. Put this flat on the ground. Move my little baby hybrids out of my way. This project, really, you need 2 of them. Otherwise, you'll be all day doing this. But bring my leaf up here. Here's my leaf. Probably need to back this camera off a little bit. Oops. There you go. Okay. So now my dish, I want this to go underneath, but that's a little too tall. So what I'm going to do, take my X-Acto knife and follow this swoop down, oops, and around, and see if that fits. And it still does not. So I'm going to just follow it. I want this to still be pretty. Just like that. I'm going to go swoop it again. Clean my edges. Round these off. Did stick my finger in it. Go figure. And look at how that fits perfect underneath there. You can actually kind of push it in there to get the shape you want. And then move the bowl. And that'll give you the shape you want here on the back side of your leaf. Now, I am going to trim it just ever so slightly because I wanted it flat. I'm picky. Okay, you have it figured out now? If not, now do you have it figured out? Nope. I'm going to give you a minute. Now do you have it figured out? Well, let me show you what I did. Okay. Now we made a flower and we made a leaf. And what are we going to do with those? Well, let me tell you. Off the air, I made 2 more leaves. And this, I'm going to click the overhead and I'm going to show you what this came out to be. It could be anything. And I put it together. And this was using the baby 3-inch round. You could use the octagon in here as well. It would be just as pretty, maybe even a little more interest. But look at that for a chip and dip summer floral theme. I made a smaller leaf using my wildflowers template, which is a cute little leaf too. Doesn't really, let me find one that's stiffer. Doesn't really match this set and it's a little tall. But you could go littler flowers if you want. Maybe go one in between and then put the bigger ones back here. But just an idea. I mean, you can do it with any template. This one just happens to be the leaf that ruffles like the flower that I'm just so in love with. Now, all the things you could do. You could carve these leaves. You could put a center in the flower. Just an amazing amount of things that you can do. This one's still soft, so it needs to kind of set up a little bit. But hey, look at that. There you have flower chip and dip set with the two baby. I used two because I used one in the flower and then one in the thing, and they flipped pretty fast, but would have been easier if I had a couple more. Octomotion template, my new fantasy leaf template, and what a pair. So if you already have this and the Octomotion template, grab the leaf template. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. There it is. Fantasy leaf. And this, I just have it in this size that goes with the baby. Again, when you get it, don't freak out. It doesn't look like it matches, but it's designed to do this. And it will go with the round or the octagon. Probably the hexagon as well. But there you have it. Caught me chewing. I had to swallow real quick. So what do you think? Just trying to come up with different things you can use those for. Now, those little leaf dishes, they're on the other side of the room. Actually, they're in the other room. They would be nice little fun dishes anyway. If you took the tip of that leaf and curled it way down, or you could like stick your finger under it, that would be a perfect little personal dish for whatever, little single serving snack foods or whatever at a party. And then the leaf part could kind of curl around your finger so you can hold on to it. I could, yes, somebody said a fountain, which is also an excellent idea, Beth. Fountain would be perfect. What other things can you guys think of to come up with for these? I mean, if you took and like, you could carve some really pretty things, some really pretty squiggles or waves into that leaf and really give it some interest. Nancy, sorry, but I can't find the tiny hybrid, that little round one. If you go to shop and scroll down to hybrids and click on hybrids, there's only like 4 in there. It's the baby. So go to shop and scroll down to hybrids. Anybody else have any other questions? I'm going to go back up here. Did everybody answer one or two? Oh, I put those away. And I put them here. I have more people on now, so I'm going to ask the question again. Which texture? This was the baby 5-inch dinnerware hybrid with the pinwheel. But which, do I have that upside down? I guess it doesn't matter. Which texture, for those of you that weren't on earlier, this one is number 1. This one is number 2. It's the same texture. One is more in, one is more out. So vote that if you didn't vote earlier, 1 or 2. And let me know what you think of those. The leaves would be nice herb strippers. That would be great. 1 or 2. As I told everybody earlier, what? Oh, the texture on here did not come off a rolling pin, did not come off a texture mat. Look at the depth of this texture, almost too deep actually, but it's a whole different new product that we are testing. Oh, you guys, oh my goodness. Okay, so when I made these yesterday, I couldn't decide which way I liked it best. So I took these things, still wet and flopping, trucked across the pasture over there to my daughter's house and asked her and her husband. He picked one and she picked the opposite. So I'm dead even again, right? We went and had dinner with some friends of ours last night. And so I took these wet and floppy to their house for dinner. And I had those two pick. Which do you like? One or two? He picked one. She picked the other. So I'm still at a tie, right? Mr. Wilson and I picked opposites. We're at a tie. I showed this at the beginning of the broadcast. And most people went 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Now at the end of the broadcast, I'm getting 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So I don't know what to do, because it's such a die. But I can't wait to keep testing. I'll bisque these and glaze these and see how they look glazed. But again, not a rolling pin, not a stamp, not a texture mat. It wasn't wood. Hey Sally, hey Christine, both. That's because they're both great, but they're the same texture. But again, I get it's hard to see on your small phone. Hey, let me see, Rachel. Let me do this. There's one. This is number 2, actually. I don't know if that helped. And that's number 1. You don't get to vote, Mr. Wilson. Did that show the texture better on your your little phone? All right, that's what I have tonight. Don't forget, don't miss out on the NCCA sale. Founders, don't use that code. You have your own code. But everybody else, use the Founders code. Not the Founders code. Bing, bing. Use the SHD NCCA code. SHD NCCA 15. We rarely, Euro 2. Okay. Awesome. I'm glad that helped. Stencil. Where's my phone? Who said stencil? Stencil. It's not a stencil. You'd probably never get this kind of depth with a stencil. This is pretty deep, almost too deep. But it's gorgeous. It's, anyway, it's a new type of thing that we're testing, and the texture came out really deep, but the second part of the test didn't pass our quality control, so we are still working on it. It's not a rubber stamp. It's not a flexible. It's not rubber texture mat, anything like that. Under rim templates. Teaser. Well, no, it's just letting you know, Melody, how we test everything. It's not rolled through the slab roller. It is not a textured form. I simply used, I had it right here. Hold on. Where did I just stick it? Oh. Oops. This is what I used. The dinnerware, the baby 5-inch dinnerware round with this pinwheel template. And as you see, there is no texture on this form. So, not. Anyway, that is all that I have for y'all tonight. Slathers, you will probably see me live tomorrow for another pop-in. I'll come up with something. See you guys. Bye.